Peace world. I'm back as promised. Tonight is a triple header. Welcome to another episode of NYP Talk Show. I'm your host, Mikey Fever, for this portion of the show. Tonight we'll be having our good brother and the Dyer on with a brother Adam. And right now, tonight's show will be about facing the shadow, trauma, and personal accountability. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We got super chats. We are back in effect. Show us love. Check out the website. And I hope you enjoy this show. Dr. Dyer, can you hear me?
Well, it looks like I'm on, Mikey.
Yes, you're on. I can hear you.
Woo! God damn
You all
it.
right, brother?
There's something that doesn't want me. Yeah, it's only this show. I talk on a lot of other shows, and it's only this show. That's what makes me so like, what's
I know.
going on?
Man, there's something in the air, man. Don't worry about that. Peace to brother Ben. How you doing, brother? He's saluting to you, Dr. Dyer. Peace. I put your name out. Everybody want to come out. They want to see the good doctor, man. How you been, Dr. Dyer? Can you hear me?
I've been good. I've been in a lot of. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. I've been in since the war started. I have
Mm,
been in a lot of meetings with several international committees that I'm on, and there's a lot more going on that will obviously ever get reported, but because I'm on these committees and these subcommittees, being over there, I literally have people that I know with boots on the ground.
oh my
So,
God.
and that's on both sides, really. And
Mm.
so we get all this information, and we got to do something with it. So it's been a crazy week since the bombs start coming for me.
All right. Wow. So it's like I know you cannot divulge, you can't disclose too much information, but is it sounding bad from what you're seeing? War is bad, period. But as far as like statistically, is it bad? Can you hear me? I think we lost connection with the doctor.
No, there's there's nothing more. There's 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 nothing more to this war over another war. It's
Okay.
just that this one, what it is, do your history. But this war is going to have an immediate impact on our
Mm,
civilization, where other
yeah.
wars were slow to have impact.
Okay.
Talking about the shock of bombing Pearl Harbor or New York City, right? That
Yeah.
had an impact. This war is causing an immediate impact on our.
I think we lost connection. Doctor Dye is frozen. Yeah, it's frozen up. You may have to drop and come back up. I'm sorry about that, people. Technical difficulties do occur when you're dealing with technology. These platforms and connections do factor in, do affect the show at times. So pardon us for that. Technical difficulties. We'll get the good doctor back on. Let's just see what happens. He should come back. Um, yeah, he's gonna come back. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Do chime in with those that are viewing tonight's show. We're gonna get into a little bit of psychology Because as you can see in this world, everything is happening at such rapid pace. You got situations within your personal life, circumstances. You got situations with the Epstein, and now this with the war with Iran and America. And then you hearing about Russia and Ukraine. Then there are other factors, a lot of outside influences, too much stimuli, and that does affect a person's psyche. So we're gonna dissect all of this with Brother Dyer. Apologies for that, for the technical difficulties. Let's see, Brother Ben. Yeah, all is well, brother. I'm happy, man. All is well over here as well, man. We're happy to get back into the flow of things, but it's been a minute. Let's wait for Dr. Dyer to come back up. Doctor, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good, I can. Yeah.
All right. There's a bit of feedback on your end. It's okay.
This
It's like, yeah. Are
good.
you using your phone or your laptop?
Yeah. I have to get something else, maybe, but this is good. You can
All
hear
right.
me, it's clear, right?
I hear you. But when I
Yes.
speak, there's a feedback. So I'm thinking you may have to mute your mic on your end when I'm speaking.
What about now?
Let me see. Test. Still the feedback. Do you hear the echo?
No, I don't hear it.
No. Probably the viewers probably hear it, but there's an echo when I do speak. So we we may have to do our best with this. All right. Um. So the first question I have, Dr. Dyer, being that tonight we're speaking about facing the shadow, trauma, and personal responsibility, we're gonna go from foundation up and back up, top to bottom, bottom to top. How does trauma shape the subconscious mind?
So here's the thing. When you pushed it out to me, I thought about, well, of course I thought about it. And that shadow that we often never mention is the experiences we've had that we must face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's that shadow. Whatever that shadow is, that means it's hiding in the darkness and you don't want to face it. Now, on a conscious level and of the subconscious level, and even in the neuropsychic, whenever you repress something, it just builds stronger connections with other things it affects.
Mm.
When you repress something, it builds a connection to other things you have repressed. So no matter how you repress getting into a car accident, because you never wanted to think of it ever again, right? I
Right.
don't ever want to think of my car accident. Well, that repressed memory that you never want to talk about will start attaching itself to other circumstances to enhance you not wanting to face it. Basically, your fears. That's the
Okay.
short answer.
Mm. So okay, so it's like the repressing those feelings, suppressing it, it will eventually reveal itself in other facets, right? Like something will trigger it.
Correct. Yep.
Mm. Okay.
So
Like,
so so um other theorists and philosophers and psychiatrists and people in psychology, they have always talked about suppressing something, not facing it. You know, um, when we talk about with mental health or trauma, we always refer to it as something that happened in your past. And that's
mm,
true. And it did happen in your past. That's what creates the word trauma. But you not facing that trauma only causes your own personal demise. It causes your own hardship from there on.
Heartbreaker.
And that's where it affects the conscious mind, because everything starts being dictated by the subconscious mind that never wants to face the fears.
Oh wow. So this goes in perfectly with the second question is in what ways does trauma distorts the person's perception of reality? Like being that they're not facing it, like what will
So
happen?
let's remember, trauma is not collective, right?
Okay.
It acts the same. It acts the same in the puppeteer,
Hmm.
but there's separate plays going on. I'll get. What I mean is that you had a car accident.
Hmm.
It's not that you won't drive again, but driving really gets you, oh, right?
Anxiety. Hmm.
Um, you had a trauma being beaten up as a kid
Yeah.
for some reason, whatever reason is,
Hmm.
that creates another trauma. You yeah, you didn't do well in school. You're not popular in school, or something rejected you in your adolescent years.
Okay.
You felt rejected, right?
Hmm.
Three different traumas, but
Mm.
they will, if you never face them, they will all trigger each other.
Oh wow. And how is that? Like how can an accident correlates with feeling like rejected? Although you said it's not collective, it's separate. But how can one trigger the other?
Well, because of the same, so it goes back to where things get implanted into our biological body. It comes in through a frequency waveform. That frequency waveform resonates at what it does, right? Your trauma resonates throughout the board. So it doesn't matter what the trauma was caused by, it
Mm-hmm.
resonates at a certain frequency. So anything that attaches itself to the frequency, different traumas, it just enhances the frequency strength and how it plays on other things.
Got you. Make perfect sense. And the reason why we chose this topic tonight, right? Because I respect your work, Dr. Dyer. I see you out there. You in the many summits, conventions, and you're doing a great job out there. You really go into the science of things. And there are a lot of people online. So I don't want to disrespect them, but like so-called coaches and gurus that are
Oh,
that are practicing like dark psychology and whatsoever, and they don't really teach the person about accountability. Like there's certain things that you couldn't control. You know what I'm saying? God forbid, like
absolutely.
certain things you can't control,
But
but they don't teach accountability. How do you differ from that in the process of dealing with
so
trauma?
so I personally different. I disagree with a lot of people who are trying to take care of people. I'll put it that way kindly. I
Okay.
disagree with their methods.
Hmm.
I personally want to teach what's going on inside your body chemically.
Mm.
Second, I want to help you understand how it came about to take personal responsibility because you've learned the chemistry now. So
Mm.
now that you know what's going on chemically, you take more responsibility of what you're going to do now to start healing your life. Now the choice is yours.
Hmm.
I taught you the chemical. I taught you, why do I keep going back to this situation, or why do that situation keeps happening to me? Well, let me teach you what's happening chemically that's functioning in your body and how it induces cravings, endorphins, um, um, oxytocins, all these different stimulants that affect the brain and wired in the brain. Let me teach you the chemistry of why this is what it's doing. Now that you know, right? It's like telling an alcoholic, you're not an alcoholic because you drink. You just Your brain is wired differently, that you get intoxicated more than someone else. That's just how you're wired. Can't do anything about it. But you're an alcoholic. You can never drink without getting drunk,
because the release of chemicals.
right?
I got
So now that the person knows this,
you. Hmm.
they can either what? Drink or not drink.
Got you.
So in the science, once I teach you the science, I don't care if you want to pet rocks, oil your hair with different oils, and fill your house with different scents, go to a different religious base. It doesn't matter, because now that you have the information, you make it personally to your healing recovery.
Got you. Beautifully
That's where
put.
I differ.
I like that. I respect that, Dr. Dyer, because I asked that because I see some of these people use tactics like I get it with facing the shadows, dealing with that is that you face the issue, take the accountability, you work through it. But I see some of these people tend to use a tactic where they try to trigger you, and then they always looking for other opportunities to say, well, you know what, there's another ailment with you. The way you processing that information, you're wrong in this area. That means you're sick over here, this and that. And they keep using different like that dark psychology tactic. Like, is that healthy?
No, it's actually quite evil. It really is evil, right? And here's why I think it's so evil. I
Mhm,
think when people don't have enough understanding of the information, they
mhm,
act out of ignorance. When people never get the right information, even though they're seeking it, they start acting out of foolishness
mm,
because they be made a fool. Either way, they're both hostile.
mm, mm.
And we just need to catch the people who are hostile and be like, why are you so upset about this? What did you hear? Yo, young blood, let me tell you the truth.
Mm,
Here, young lady, let me tell you the truth.
got you. I got you. So, what does accountability look like for someone healing from trauma? Like, how can we tell?
Personally going through it, watching several people uh, my business relationships, they watch them go through it.
Mhm.
It's painful.
Is
It's painful because it then so that pain turns into exhaustion. Like you seem like you're tired all the time. Things get more fuzzier as you're going through it. Which is in that stage of fuzziness, it's actually the most prominent stage, because you have to fully function yourself. Like, did I grab a can of peanut butter, right, or about a jar of peanut butter, right?
Mhm.
That's what I meant to grab, but because you're in such a fuzziness, you have to be like, this is peanut butter. Let me develop what I understand peanut butter is. So you're
Mhm.
inputting so much more back into your life in the fuzzy stage, because everything is questionable.
Oh wow. Is that part of something being repressed or not being clear on certain?
Right, right, right. So now you have time to question, and it's going to be like, I thought I was something. I thought I was this. So the identity issue comes in, which makes it the why people are tired. People focus a lot of things on identity, or on how someone views them as, or how
Mhm.
they see themselves as. But it's that identity creates a lot of discomfort for people.
So does that allude to generational trauma? Would you say?
It's generational, because you were taught inside the environment that viewed it as a situation, and not teach you what your identity is, or needs to be, but what could you make it?
Mm.
There's a different teachings there. Someone could teach you like this is your identity. You come from this type of family, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This was what we were, but they often even that person or that child doesn't start taking into account where what do I want to be. I have the information of this and that, but
Yeah.
now I need to develop me. And they never develop themselves. They just fall into the same generational verbiage, which
So
creates the
true.
same generation habit. No bank account, no savings, no financial literacy, just work real hard, keep your head down, and I'll live my life.
That is so true amongst a lot of generations. Many of my peers that, you know, find that self identity, like you raised within a certain environment, and it's like when you go outside that comfort zone or outside that circumference to develop your own path, there are many naysayers or those trying to live vicariously through you. And then when you do the difference, they kind of ridicule you. So that also affects your psyche. It makes you feel like, all right, so I'm not doing it right because I'm seeking that validation from mom or dad or my peers. But maybe if I just follow their path, it's safer for me. Like, how can one break that? Like to make those around you see you for who you really are.
I think it's trial and error, really. I think because the person may not know what they are, who they are, what they would like to be, right?
Mhm,
It's not something that just says, I'm going to be Spider Man.
mhm,
Okay, so I have to start developing my Spider Man persona and tell everyone I'm Spider Man. Now, the people I'm telling that I'm Spider Man, people I have known are going to laugh at me. They may even ridicule me. They really may push me outside the community I thought I had as friends. Because now I'm identifying as Spider Man. So my family may have a discomfort with this, right?
mhm,
That's so, but it's time for this person to really figure out its identity, and the people around them really discard it of their
mhm,
development. That's why most often people start to move away from their what you call centric close circles,
mhm.
and they start to, whether it be going to college, whether it be joining a different thing in high school where your friends are athletes and you join the drama club, right? The whole different segment of finding a place to fit in and have an identity. This
Gotcha.
happens.
That's important. Create your tribe. You must create your tribe. And being that, you're the reason why I enjoy having this conversation with you because you're speaking from experience as well, especially somebody in the military, from the military experience and all that you have. You got to go out there to recreate that identity, that collective thought, but still be an individual within that collective union. So to navigate that, that's a lot right there.
That's a lot.
Wow. So how can recognizing emotional triggers lead to personal growth?
Well, if you reckon that's the great thing. If you recognize something, that means you wanting to become aware. You don't recognize something until you want to become aware. It's
Mhm.
it's 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 chemically impossible. That's the best way. If you can't recognize something you have never seen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see it and don't recognize it, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
So past experiences come through you like something you've seen before that you're denying by saying, I never recognized that. You see the negative side of that?
Exactly. A lot of people go through that because they be like, "Well, I don't see that because like I heard this before, like you're not experiencing me the way I'm experiencing you. Because we're so accustomed to our patterns. We think, well, that's the
Right.
way I'm so used to function this way because it usually works for me this way to get my way. But you're not seeing the destruction that you're creating along the way, like how it's affecting other people. So for a person to realize that, that takes a lot of like emotional intelligence and maturity. Then does it? God. What does radical self honesty look like in human? In it, I mean, what does what does radical self honesty look like in trauma healing? I know we could do the work, whatever, but I can somebody know, like, you know what, I reached that pinnacle where I face my fears, I face my shortcomings.
I've worked with a lot of nonprofits, people with financial literacy, and just some really incredible business savvy people.
Mhm,
And it was it's called it's a resource center for African Americans,
mhm,
right? But it's also there are other resource centers out there, and to look to advance something in whatever you're thinking of being better at, there are communities out there
mhm,
that will fold you in and bring you right along with the wave.
hmm.
But the only way you could do that is to open yourself up to vulnerability.
Got you, got you.
So until you stop wanting to be non-vulnerability,
Mhm.
you open yourself to that much riches.
Vulnerability is important. Wow. You sound like a father saying that. I heard that before. You must be vulnerable in order to feel, in order to understand. Because if not, keep that wall up, it's pretty much isolating yourself. Like, there's no growth there. So I like how you put that. Why can't intimacy feel threatening to someone with unresolved trauma? I know that sounds like the very obvious. Somebody may face like,
Say it again, Mikey Fee. Why can't?
why can't intimacy feel threatening to someone with unresolved trauma?
Well, intimacy means you're literally sharing your energy with someone, right? Your
Yeah.
body, your physical, your spiritual. I don't whether you don't think you are or not, you are. Okay, so that it's a non-argument.
Mhm.
Your choices are your choices,
Mhm.
but when you're unable to perform clarity in your life,
Mhm.
intimacy is going to be affected.
Got you.
When you're not able to see clarity in your life, intimacy will be affected.
Mm.
I'm unsure about what time I'm supposed to go to work. I'm unsure if I don't wipe up, the smudge on the counter that I left. I don't clean that up before I leave. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure if washing dishes is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm so unsure of my personal self, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't really have true clarity on most things.
Mhm.
Your lack of that person that you are and all those social strengthening developmental issues, you're going to have intimacy problems. Now, the opposite is someone wants to be very bravado. I'm
Mhm.
all this, I'm all that. Everything I touches turns to gold. That will also have a negative impact on intimacy.
Got you.
Because to be greater than all things, it must make everything that I am, even when I'm with you, quite small. Who wants to feel that small with someone?
Mm. Ooh, that's true. When you're unsure. Wow.
So if I'm going to be that small, then I'm just your servant or oppressor.
Wow. That happens a lot of relationships. Unresolved trauma step in, especially like we know unfortunately the taboo in many communities is sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
um, physical abuse and emotional abuse. And then you get people that end up in these circumstances, these relationships where, as you say, one is playing the role of the oppressor, the other one is a servant. But yet within that union, that trauma bonding union, they found some kind of peace. Like I don't know, I don't want to. It sounds crazy, like but some kind of understanding where it's dependence, it's dependency. Prime example, you
Well,
know,
so it's the reason why I said private example really
yeah,
is because the person doesn't start healing, so they create themselves to being a strict victim,
yeah,
right? And they will always be a victim, right?
mhm,
They just don't know why they will always be a victim because they didn't learn the science.
mhm,
And then or you if how about this? Dr. Paul, you're just a geek. I don't need to learn any science about this or that. I just keep dating the wrong person. Okay, it's your fault. Change your habit. That's what a therapist. I mean, at the end of the day, a therapist is really it's your fault.
yeah,
Change your habit. Why is that such a staple on that? Until we start talking, if the common denominator between you and I is you, and I'm a therapist, then all your troubles are your fault.
mhm,
I just got to get you to figure out why it is your fault. But if
exactly.
you want to keep denying me that it's not your fault, which makes me really understand that it probably is your fault.
Bingo. It's
So
true.
that's what ego does. So ego doesn't work. You
Yeah,
have to be vulnerable.
yeah. The reason why I was saying prime example, right? Like I caught a lot of flack for this. I was saying the situation that we saw last year with this Diddy and Cassie situation, right? I say what Diddy was doing to that young girl was terrible, like physical abuse that was documented, and the stories we don't know about, but also like the sexual things that he had her doing. I was
Mhm.
like, it was terrible, but I'm like, she also played a part in that. I'm not saying that that he was wrong because of course psychologically he may have had control over her, but she could have you know run out from that situation when it was happening, but
I
she
look at
stayed.
hey Mikey Fever. I look at it this way. You
Mhm.
know, drug dealers give samples
Yeah,
so they can come back and get the rest of the stuff.
exactly.
I think Mr. Combs did that. I think he set women up to believing that they could get a shot at something or
Yeah,
something, right? To get something in return.
yeah.
And then they fall so deep into being oppressed
Hmm.
that they can't see getting away like slavers and slaves who
Hmm.
never left the plantation.
Yeah.
That's the mental breaking of a human person. And that's why human trafficking is so horrible because as as long as these people are away from family, the nucleus of family,
Hmm.
they're being broken down, and depending on the person,
Hmm.
they may eventually break where they're just okay with being a slave.
and that's the part I want to get to. How do you allow yourself to be broken? Like, I get it. Things do happen. Don't get me wrong. Against your will, if, as you say, if you're weak, if you're feeble-minded, you fall for it. But if you're constantly under that abuse and you know it, but then you stay because you be like, well, this is all I know. I like this lifestyle that I'm getting. It's not that bad. Like tomorrow I'm flying. I'm gonna be on a private jet somewhere. It kind of makes you think like, so you stayed there because the lifestyle, or you were completely hopeless or something.
Yes. So it doesn't matter. Once I become indoctrinated,
Hmm.
that's it. That's it for me. I don't. I will not know any other way.
Oh man,
And
it's like,
and people get indoctrinated because they're not self thinkers. They don't think
okay.
about which is why it goes back to the healing.
Mhm.
You know, to go through healing, you must be aware,
Know thyself. Yep.
right? You
Hmm.
must be aware. And I said in that healing, it's very fuzzy. It's a lot of pain because you
Yeah.
kind of keep reassuring that I am holding, like you're challenging all things you thought were true to
Hmm.
have a new development of belief. That's healing.
It's crazy. This is why I question when people join cults and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, how did you fall for
Right,
that?
right,
Like,
right.
like were you that broken? Really? Like, you don't know who you are? That somebody uh, had
And
to
the,
make you
and the
feel
answer is
important?
yes. The answer is yes.
It's crazy. I'm sorry. What role does emotional processing play in healing?
I think sometimes we trigger, well, I do, some, the science says we trigger a feeling with an emotion with an action.
Hmm.
I get pinched, it makes me sad, and
Hmm.
then I cry. So we've gone through three things, right? We got the physical, we got the emotional, then we got an action. I got pinched, it hurt. I feel sad now I cry, which is a physical.
Gotcha.
We don't know what causes what in the chain, which is why it's damaging.
Mm. How does the nervous system respond during trauma recovery?
Well, the nervous system goes with the most popular votes. I'll put it to you that way. Your most popular votes is saying to react this way with a flinch or a shiver, um, or any other physical anomaly that could happen, right?
Hmm.
You, it gets that information from the brain that's saying we need a strong reaction because this was not called for.
Gotcha.
And we need to respond physically with something. So all that information's being fed to all these different parts of the body to give you that millisecond of oh, right?
Mm.
But you don't know why it made you that way. So it could be attached to other things like trauma does
Hmm.
to cause you that same reaction.
Gotcha.
So it's strengthening it.
Hmm. Now you make sense. Perfect sense. So, as far as transferring trauma into growth, right? How can trauma lead to increased emotional intelligence? Like once you go through the process of the healing and everything else, like does that give you the once you apply the tools that the therapist may give you within your arsenal, does that help you increase emotional intelligence?
It no, emotional intelligence comes from after you know your emotional self. You cannot have emotional intelligence and also be working on your emotional self.
Mm.
Okay.
Well,
Um, because the things you are learning after you've completely discovered yourself is so much, which is why it turns into intelligence because it's information that you understand.
got you. So I have a question. This is off the whim. Is being stoic part of emotional intelligence?
You say it's being
Stoic,
forward.
Sto- like being stoic, like things not getting under your skin, not allowing things to get under your skin, being in control of your emotions. Because some people take it
No,
as
no. Because the problem I have is the control part. We shouldn't want control. Because that builds the ego, and we know I talked about where ego can get you, right? Because we
Mhm.
don't want to be in control. We want to be understanding for ourselves.
Yeah.
So for whatever happens at the moment it's happening,
Mhm.
I understand why it's happening, and and so I'm connected. It's like a central circulatory loop. I'm fully engaged in all things what's happening at this moment.
Got you. I'm glad you said that because I don't know if I articulate correctly, but there are times where I really I question sometimes like why is this not bothering me? And I think, as you said, I'm aware of my emotions because I'm like I must process this first before I react. I want to respond
Yeah.
before I react. So it may come off as me being dismissive, but it's not being dismissive. I'm just like, all
No,
right,
no, it's not. And the reason why it comes off to those who think from a perception of being dismissed is because they've never seen calm.
mm,
They've seen chaos, they understand that. They've
mm,
seen reluctance, they've probably seen that. They've seen defensiveness, they've seen that. They've seen aggressiveness, and they've seen that. But when a person's actually a thinker,
mhm.
it's miscued as being condescending.
Yeah. I'm glad you articulated that correctly because that's how I be feeling. I'm like, I'm not being dismissive. I
Yeah.
think the amount of emotional intelligence from, like you said, from experiencing certain things and knowing that there are times when language can be misconstrued, tonality. I'm like, all right, let me just
But
refrain.
you know what the tough, Mikey? You know what the tough part about it is that when you hear a person rattle that type of noise, and
Mhm,
you're just saying to yourself, "Man, they're so They don't understand themselves, right?" There is no nice way of saying that to the other person.
mm,
You know, like as far as what we consider as PC or uh,
politically correct.
public correctness and things like that,
Mhm,
the other person be like, "So why aren't you upset?"
yeah,
Because the truth answer is, I hear you are erratic behavior,
mhm,
and you don't have all the facts.
yeah,
That's what I want to tell this person.
mhm,
But that turns that into such an evil, like, how dare you?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
So we
crazy.
keep our mouth shut, which makes it worse because now
Yeah.
we're like, you have nothing to say, nothing you really want me to say.
And I'm glad you said that because there are times you look at them like I'm not being condescending, like as you mentioned, it's your behavior, and I'm like, you know what? I'll wait so we get into a clear space. I'm allowing you to vent. I'm giving you your space to vent. Like, go ahead, but I'm not gonna, partake in this at the moment. I'm just gonna sit back and contemplate what steps should be taken to bring some resolve to this matter. But
Right,
they want they,
right.
but they want you to like, come on, behave too. Like don't you not care? Uh, uh, I don't. I appreciate that you cleared up for me. Um, What does post-traumatic growth look like psychologically?
You mean uh, you talking about the group of post traumatic
Um,
disorder?
post-traumatic, post-traumatic.
So, well, I mean, the post past trauma that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we you it is a simple way of saying I'll never forget, but you can forgive,
Perfectly said.
right? So uh, history is history. History doesn't take sides. People take sides, humans take sides. So, and humans give labels to things that's informational, which why I've always said there's no trauma can happen twice. They're two separate. Even though the act may have been similar, they're
Mm-hmm.
not the same. But humans like to run the trail cars together, keep buckling cars together, right? So now they have this huge train of things that's happened to them that they consider to be one trauma. And so they rushed the process because it was going to go there anyway until you face them.
Gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense.
So they rushed the process. Now the process is being taken over by the subconscious. So the subconscious is like, oh yeah, just load that onto the back of the car. So it's loading its train, no matter how long this train is. The subconscious keeps adding onto these carts because for all the previous carts we haven't dealt with. So the
Mm.
subconscious just know this is the working order. Just add up to the carts. Add up to the carts.
And then you derail. You over here.
Yeah, you will derail. There's we're talking this is still mathematically science engineering. Your body will derail. Your
Exactly.
mind will derail.
Mm. So self-compassion, compassion of self, self-compassion and forgiveness are very essential for the healing part for recovery, right? Because I notice people go through like, say for instance, go through like divorces, breakups whatsoever, and it could be like 10 plus years later. I one of the parties are still angry. Like you be like, damn, like after all these years, you still bitter. Like you're trying to convince yourself that you're not, but your behaviors show different. What is holding them back? Is that a chemical imbalance, or are they just stuck in a rut at that moment?
You know, some things Freud got right in a lot of his adolescent studies.
Yeah.
And self gratification when people are young, men or women,
Hmm.
played a very strong part on their future development.
Yeah.
Not knowing how to take care of self. You can look at it as it's a sexual thing, but it's not. It's growth development.
Hmm.
And boy or girl will find ways to have self gratification. And if they didn't, or shamed, or denied, that takes a negative turn to all the other processes you look at. Freud got those things right. It,
Mm.
it goes back to a repressed sexual unhealthy function.
Wow. Arrested development, just stuck in the phase of non-forgiveness. This is why forgiveness is so important. It's so important.
Correct. Correct.
Oh my God. Thank you, Dyer, for breaking that down, man. Um, does journaling help the process? Somebody decides to journal and stuff. Does that help the process of like self-reflection in the work of healing?
How would it be applied?
Like, oof, that's the good one right there. Like say for instance, you're a therapist and you tell them, write down what makes you angry, what triggers you, why does that trigger you? Is it a term the person's using? Is it?
Yeah, I because I do that all the time. Now it's almost like whether people do it or not, because
Mhm.
it takes that's the work. Like I used to bodybuild, and I went to the nationals as a natural heavyweight. Um, for years, I wrote down everything I ate.
Oh
I
wow.
knew exactly how many calories were coming into my body.
Mm,
Not one grain of anything. I did not know what was coming in and what I wanted to produce for to get out of it. When a person doesn't write down, it's not notes, it's your thoughts to you so you can understand where you're at.
mhm,
It's not for you to hand it over to someone. It's like, I got to eat at 7. Oh, I got to take my meditation today at 7.
mm,
What you have to be diligent in the action because your subconscious has been working against you for so many years. So you have to strengthen consciousness to defeat unconsciousness.
mm. Beautifully said, Dr. Dyer. I appreciate that. Oh my God. I'm taking a lot of notes in myself mentally. I'm like, you know what? That's what it took. I had my personal share of trauma growing up, and I had to like again for me, what worked for me, like you said, the self awareness of my conscience, everything else. I had to mentally replay those events. You understand? And say what part I played in and what parts I didn't, get consent to, but take my accountability in stride and be like, you know what, that would never happen again. I would not allow my emotions to get the best of me. I would not, I would know what triggered me and strengthen that. What's triggering me is a weakness, so I'm therefore strengthen that. Why is it triggering me? So I don't know, man. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. It's like a session for me,
You,
man.
it's just a simple answer. If you're afraid to face your shadows,
Hmm.
then they turn into darkness. And in the darkness starts maneuvering everything against you. So face your shadows first. If you don't want to
Hmm.
do that, they'll dip in the darkness and now you don't know what the heck they're doing.
That's a fact, man. You be all over the place. That's important, man. With that being said, thank you, Dr. Dyer, for coming out, brother. When can the people reach you at again? They want to have book a session with you.
If they just want to reach out to me, um, you can. My email is easy. Is drpaulwdyer @gmail.com. So it's Dr. Paul W. Dyer @gmail.com. That's the simplest way to get me. You can always search on any platform and find out how to get a hold of my inbox and things like that. But just my email. You can send me an email, drpaulwdyer
Got you, Doctor. I appreciate you coming out, my brother, man, and good luck on that job you're doing with the people that's on the boots that have the boots on the ground out there, man. Any help
Yeah, yeah.
those troops, man. Unfortunately, we in this. I hope that it could come to an end, because I know it's gonna be a lot of people coming home with issues. Unfortunately, the things they're gonna be seeing out there, So
Yeah, because there's a lot of starving people that's happening and then of course there's killings like going on in Sudan, and then the Congo. There's tons of slaughter that's going on in the Congo at the same time right now. People don't hear about that, and also people don't hear about the food just not getting around the world because of the shipping lanes has been cut short because of the war. Like I said before, and people get food from countries that you may not think they should get food from, but it's food for them. You want to talk about why did they pick them and could they pick someone else, and that's not the issue. And I don't think you would be concerned about an issue if your supermarket had the rice you wanted, and then it's you would go there. So um, there's a lot of humanity issues that are unfolding every day, every so medications. It but we're trying to fix it, trying to clean up some um, lines of transports
Mm-hmm.
without them getting blown up. So
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, it's here. It's upon us. So especially the world, man, just needs some like collective healing, man. It's important. The world needs collective healing at this point. For years, like we just keep being bombarded with information every day. Your smart devices, your television, you hear it, the music. Like there's not a point where the world could go still and just heal. Fortunately, that's something that I doubt that will ever happen. So let's just hope for the better, man.
well, we hope it happens, but just not in the foreseeable future.
No, not now. People operating off ego, man. Ah, with that being said, Dr. Dyer, I appreciate you, my brother, for coming out. It's been a while. You got to come back, man. It's been a while. We miss you on here, man. And thank you again. You're doing a great job out there, man. Salute to you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, people, we out. Peace.
Peace.